All right, we got to talk about Pokemon and Pokken.
Yeah.
So, one oversight that I had with all the details that just freshly came out from Pokken tournament was I saw the controller. We mentioned it last week on the show.
Oh, it was stupid.
Yes, it's very stupid. But then I realized, wait, this is the thing that's going to be attached to the arcades?
Oh.
Yeah.
Wait, they're not going to be like joysticks and buttons?
No. And let's
Oh.
look at it and think of it like, I know this isn't the first time this has happened. Like, I know there's been other arcade setups where you have a little joystick, you use it. I mean, not the joystick, but the joypad, and you had the buttons and the D-pad and whatnot. But they're doing that for Pokken, and I have no idea why.
Oh, that's terrible. It means you're going to be forced to use this thing.
Yeah, so you can't even use a stick. Well, here's the thing. The Namco's Katsuhiro Harada, that took a minute. He heads the Tekken team, and the Pokken controller is still in development. So he said this quote: "We made it like this for people who like Pokemon and who enjoy action like this, but might find it hard to use a joystick."
What? You what, mate? Like, what? No. This is horrible because Pokemon fans can get used to using a joystick. This is a fighting game. And you need a joystick.
It's not like this isn't a Pokemon arcade game where you're traveling through towns and then you're throwing your Pokemon. Like you're at a fighter select screen and selecting a stage. Like this is a fighting game.
No.
To continue his quote, "It's easier to use than you'd think. Usually I play using a fight stick, but this controller suits this game."
Stop it.
I mean, every other Tekken game has a stick and buttons. Like, what is the difference between Pokken and Tekken? That is it that much of a difference? Where instead of feeling comfortable with a stick, you have to use a D-pad.
No, I don't like that.
Yeah, I'm not digging that either. I mean, granted, maybe they'll put a stick. I don't know, at some point maybe, but
it's still in development, right? Everyone write them and be like, stick, please.
Stick, please. Tweet at them, stick, please.
Tweet them, stick, please.
Going on to actual Pokemon, because I think this is really it that we got. The other event Pokemon happened. Emboar?
Emboar.
Yeah. So the second code, if you guys remember, we had codes before. The second code is Pokemon 500. So you get that, you get the Emboar.
Dope.
I'll
do it later.
Yeah, definitely.
So I got my Superior already, so I'm gonna do the Emboar.
Yeah, and I think next week is the last of the three.
Samurott.
And that's that'll do it for the cool Pokemon that's coming out soon.
Dope.
Moving on to Destiny.
That game that still sucks.
Yeah, the game still sucks. There's gonna be a new DLC which apparently won't be as bad as the other one, where Bungie's actually promising that. Well, here's the thing. They announced it on NeoGaf, which is weird. They don't actually use the website. that was just weird. But they said that basically it's sounding like that you can actually use the old weapons that you have, because basically when you had the new DLC pack, they promised, it won't ruin your old items, old weapons that you had. You can still continue to use them, but then really the new stuff was better than the old stuff. So it did.
That's every game that has a new expansion, though.
Yeah. So they're trying to do that, and making the game a little bit easier. There's some release notes on it. It's pretty detailed. We'll put it out there for you to look at. And it seems like it's not as bad as the last one, but then hopefully it has better content.
At the end of the day, you're still gonna pay $20 for it.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing too. Now, apparently there's a glitch, another bug, in Destiny. What a surprise! Another video game that has another bug. Well, they were talking about a bug that's been in Destiny throughout the whole time, where people lose like their heavy weapons ammo. Well, basically, how you're losing your heavy weapons ammo is because it's due to a problem of mathematics and calculation. The game is trying to figure out the player's inventory after the death of loading screen and getting it to a muddle. That's a quote from this article that I'm reading from Polygon. So here's a quote from John Cable, who's a sandbox engineer at Bungie. "Fixing bugs in a live game is always about managing risk. What are the chances that the fix is going to cause an issue that might be worse than the original bug? Players outnumber our testers by factors of several thousand, so if there's a problem that slips through the cracks, it virtually is guaranteed that the community will find it. This bug was mainly risky because it was at the intersection of lots of different systems, player profiles, investment, sandbox, perks, and weapons management. That he also said that there was a lot of weapons and armor perks in the game, and changing it changing how they're applied could probably mix up the whole game. So. And of course, to fix the problem, it would require a lot of large restructuring of the game, of the way the game works. What the hell? Make the game right the first time. We talked about this.
Yeah, well, they were behind already. Remember we were talking about this? Destiny was behind schedule as it was, and it was like 3 weeks from release date, and that voice actor was like, "We haven't done any voice work yet."
Yep,
like,
I remember that.
Yeah,
we talked about that in the show.
Yeah, so Destiny was behind as it was. Just delay it more. Make the game right. That's what I'll say. I said it before. I'll say it again. Just make the right game. Mm-hmm. Don't make a crap game to have it on release day. That like you set a release day. We have to hit that release day. No, if you have to delay it, delay it.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that. I still remember like when the beta came out. I think it was even the alpha where the voice actors were just playing and people were like, oh, and then of course the infamous moon quote that came from the moon quote that people loved that was taking out the game. It just, I don't know. These big AAA game companies just don't know what they're doing anymore. They're just trying to make money, and it sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of AAA stuff, we're talking about all the games now, all the game news from every console that covers everything before we go to the individual stuff. Like Dying Light, which is a game I never heard of until like yesterday.
I heard about it. I just didn't really have much interest in it.
Yeah, but it went past my radar because it's obviously been talked about for a long time, and it's been out. It's basically from the people who made Dead Island, and that's basically what people are saying. The game is basically like. It's basically like a Dead Island.
Well, it's a zombie game.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's just another zombie game.
How many more zombie games? Like, you can't make a zombie game and have it be unique anymore.
No, not even the re-release of Resident Evil was like you can't even make that unique anymore.
I guess I like there's certain types. There's two types of zombie games. There's the zombie game like Left 4 Dead, mm-hmm. Dying Light, Dead Island, where it's like you're a guy or you're a team and you have weapons and you're gonna go kill zombies. And then there's games like H1Z1 and DayZ where you're a civilian and you have to survive against the zombies. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, it's been convoluted for a couple of years now. It's been like that in movies. I think gaming's gonna start hitting that path. I don't know, man. I can't. But the game looks nice graphic wise, but I couldn't tell you anything else beyond that. It doesn't really look that appealing to me. I don't care about the game much.
I'm over zombie games.
Yeah. Speaking of zombie games, like Resident Evil was released. We talked about that. And there's a modder that wants to remove the game's doors. Because in the original couple of Resident Evils, there was a long load time because it was on old consoles. Yeah, that was on old PCs and PlayStation. And basically, the loading screen was the door opening, which was very suspenseful, especially when those games were freaking scary.
Yeah.
So, but I guess I do understand why they're modding the latest version of Resident Evil, the HD remake. There's a guy who wants to mod those doors out of the game. So basically the load time for the mod for those doors would just be gone. Which, is cool if for speedrunning purposes, I guess, or if you're playing a game for a second time, you don't want to wait for those doors again because it's just kind of like, well, I know it's going to happen. I know it's loading. But I don't know. I feel like this is like a good thing to do that mod, but if they're gonna do speed runs, they have to do obviously a modded speed run because it's modded. They can't be an official speed run. There's got to be speed run with doors, speed run with outdoors. It's only cutting a couple of seconds of every time you have to go into a door.
But every second is precious in a speed run.
Yes, it is. Going on to other stuff, we're going into numbers. EA earned $1.4 billion revenue during Q4 of 2014. They exceeded their expectations of $1.27 billion.
Yeah, that's a little bit more than exceeded.
Yeah. Yeah. The success was due to Dragon Age Inquisition, which I didn't even know stole that much. A guy Game of the Year, I didn't even know. Everybody's like, what the hell is this? That might have been why. Well, it got some attention from that. And apparently there's no numbers, but apparently there's like 113 million hours played across all platforms of that game. So that's something, I guess. And as far as the mobile market, it's achieving 22 million downloads of SimCity in its December month alone. Madden NFL and FIFA 15 mobile had a 45% increase in active players since about the same time last year. Also reports a 82% growth in revenue across both games as well. So they're doing everything all over the place, man.
This must have been the year that people decided to update their Madden.
Yeah.
I have friends who will say like, "Oh, I'm not gonna buy Madden this year. It's just the same game."
Yeah. And it is, and people need to realize that, and I'm glad there's starting to be a movement about that, and thankfully.
So so they only buy Madden every other year, every 2 years or whatever, because it's like, all right, time to update the rosters for real.
I mean, it could be DLC. Why? Again, I don't know. I'm not in charge of making games. Speaking of mobile games, mobile game playtime is up 57% since 2012. So this is coming from the MPD group. They surveyed 5,566 people last year and found that mobile gamers spend 2 hours a day playing on mobile devices. So that's an increase from an hour and 20 minutes. Talked about the study from 2 years ago.
2 hours.
40 more minutes. It makes a difference.
Huh. I wonder what I play.
I can. Well, you play. I don't know what the hell you play.
I don't use my DS. I don't use my if they're talking about mobile phones and like none. I don't play mobile games on my phone, but my DS. Yeah, I play that a lot.
Yeah, I gave up on a lot of those games because it was just one, time consuming, and two, it didn't make me feel like I was achieving anything in those games. I really like games where I can advance in the story and go through everything else. I can't play Words with Friends all the time and just beat the same people all the time. And, it just got really boring for me. So talking about age groups with this study, it showed that children ages 2 to 12 play the most games, an average of 5, including the greater number of paid games, which is about 3. The age group of 25 to 44 spends the most money on new games, on average in a single month. The younger bracket, 2 to 12, spends the second highest amount. But of course, that they're not buying the games.
They're not buying the game.
Yeah. So the free-to-play market is still strong, but paid mobile games are also experiencing success in their own way. That's the conclusion from that one.
Interesting.
Talking about the numbers, one more thing. The Ouya, or however the hell you say that crappy console's name, it's actually receiving $10 million in funding. It's not successful in any way. It really isn't. But apparently, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that the people who are familiar with the matter say that 2 companies, which is Chinese investor Alibaba, wants to buy or invest in the company at least $10 million to incorporate Ouya's, or however you say that, software and 1,000+ game library into Alibaba's set-top box. So it's moving up,
I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I kudos to them, I guess. They got second life in in this, because really, I mean, come on now.
Second, yeah.
Now, talking about Sega, unfortunately, we talk about layoffs from time to time, and it's an unfortunate, it sucks, but it happens a lot. But more so with Sega, because they had to cut 300 jobs, and now they're preparing for a digital non-console future.
Well, they've already had a pretty much digital non-console future.
I mean, no, the Sonic games are still coming out.
I was saying I thought you meant as far as like having like an actual console.
No,
there hasn't been a second console since the Dreamcast. Like, what are you talking about? They've had a non-console future for the last 10 years. More than that, actually. Dreamcast is a long time ago.
Well, here's the thing: the company's gonna be focusing on mobile phones and PC games, which really that's where the money is anyway.
Yeah, and we've been talking about this too.
And Sega's been looking for money ever since they stopped making consoles, which that's why people always judge Nintendo for not being third party, but third party hurt Sega so much. Like, they lost a lot more money in the last couple of years than they've ever gained.
Or maybe it's the fact that their games suck. You ever think of that?
Well, I mean,
I used to love Sega. But the last couple Sonic games have been absolutely horrible.
Some people like Splatterhouse.
I didn't play that, so I
yeah.
don't
See,
know.
That's the thing. They do different things, and nobody buys them.
But like Sonic Boom, what is that?
Oh God.
Sonic 06, stop. Like Sega, your games have been terrible. Like especially like the face of your franchise is Sonic the Hedgehog, and you can't even make a good game.
No,
please.
So going on to the Game Awards, Jeff Neely reported that it's going to be coming back later this year. Boom.
Nice. I guess that means it was a hit.
It was a hit. Lastly, we cover all our games. Mortal Kombat X. There's been a couple of character announcements.
There have been some character reveals.
You want to talk about that, Steve?
I'm so happy. These are two of my absolute most favorite characters of all time.
Which we're going to post links to as well.
Yes, we are going to post links. The first one was released a couple days ago. His name is, you might be familiar with him. He's green. His name is Reptile. He used the force balls. He spits on you. He runs you over.
He was awesome.
He's dope. He's awesome. He looks awesome. He plays awesome.
He looks awesome in this game.
The second character is my absolute favorite character of all time, who was the glitch himself. Not even supposed to be in the Mortal Kombat
really
universe.
Was not.
But they found him as a glitch, and then everyone loved him. His name is Ermac.
And I love the fact that he's been kept in the game for all these years, and the fact that he has returned for this new Mortal Kombat.
The Keeper of Souls, man. He's awesome. Ermac is my favorite character. He might not be high in the tier list, but he's so much fun to play. I love Ermac.
So we got a pretty good roster for Mortal Kombat, and the game's still not coming out. We're supposed to play for Evo? Like, I don't get that.
I'm pretty sure at Evo it's going to be their first time playing it too.
Yeah, probably.
All right, here's the game. It came out yesterday. You have an hour to learn how to play it.
Yeah, it's kind of like Tekken. Tekken's going to do that. It's kind of like, okay, I guess.
But you know what? I feel like that makes it more fun.
Yeah, I guess.
But I can see why the pros would be upset because there's money on the line and you've had the game for an hour.
Just hope you're nice when you pick it up. That's all.
Yeah,
that's all you got to do.
If it's this game is supposed to be different too. Like it's not like you can pick it up and be like, oh, it's the same old game. Like there's supposed to be some significant changes in this game.
Oh yeah,
compared to past Mortal Kombats.
So we'll see what happens with that one. So we talked about all our games. Let's go on to Nintendo next.